ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this video where I'm going to be having a look at a brand new map called the PMC Texas Rowena 8KM. Now what's special about this map is that it's a 16x map. That's right folks, a 16x map. And for people that don't understand what that means, a standard farming simulator map is commonly referred to as being a 1x map because it's one map, one square tile. So it's a 1x map. You then have obviously 4x maps, which are the size of 4 standard tiles. Okay, so if we go into the map and have a look, basically, you know, you would have your, if this was a 1x map, that would be the whole map. A 4x map would be 4 of these, obviously, in a pattern. So if this was a 4x map, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4 regular maps within it. This, however, is a 16x map. So what that means, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 regular sized maps within it. Now you appreciate the scale of what this map is and how big this map is. And I've come into the map to show you straight away as well. Only has support for the base game crops at this point in time. And if we go to the price screen, you'll notice things like wool don't have a sell point. Should I say. Wood chips don't have a sell point. Silage doesn't have sell points. Grass, hay, straw, manure, slurry, corn straw, soybean straw, canola straw do not have sell points. This map is literally only going to let you do farming and crops. It's not going to let you do all the other stuff. Another good reason for that as well, if we look at the map and zoom back in and have a look at some of the icons on the screen. Try and find a screen that's easy on the eyes. Your selling points are scattered all around the map. Your farm obviously is over here. You've got your silo, you've got your starting little equipment. You literally just start with one field, 102. Your other fields are available at various different prices, which, given the size of the map and given the size of the areas, not too bad when you think about it. And when you start to have a bit of a mosey round, you're getting a lot of land, a lot of bang for your buck. Okay, now you've got your dealership, your store on the map, but if you travel around the map and have a look, there is no animal dealer, so there's no animal support. You will not be doing animals on this map because you've got no way of buying them and you've got no way of selling anything that they produce anyway, with the exception of maybe chickens, selling the eggs. There's also, oddly, strangely, peculiarly, no fuel buying point on the map. So at some point, if you're going to be playing on this map, you're going to need to place a fuel station, a fuel trigger, because there isn't one. There isn't one at the dealership. And if I head over to the dealership, you will see there is literally just a repair trigger out the front and obviously a place to buy your equipment. And oddly, it teleports you. You just notice that. I access the trigger, I come out, and it teleports me over here. A little bit strange, that one. Then you got some buildings. Buildings which are decorated on the map. However, unfortunately, There is no way to actually use them. You can't open the doors. They are just decorations. They're not sheds that you could... If you buy the land later on in the game, you are not able to utilise them as actual like vehicle storage. So if, you know, you was to buy a huge fleet of vehicles and have vehicles stationed all around the map, I don't think any of the buildings, beside the ones actually at your farm, have interactable doors. So all of these are just visual decorations. There's no way to actually get inside them. And now we've got, quite obviously, we've got a strange bit of land here, which I'm guessing is supposed to be part of this field. I'm going to instantly kind of predict that maybe field definitions are something on this map. Shall we have a look? Field 48. Let's go and do... Didn't notice any change there. Maybe that's because this is field 58, not 48. Now that's disappeared. Yeah, okay. Field definitions are not set up correctly on this map. That's not really going to come as a huge, massive shock to people, because it's a 16x map, and for a map author to go around with the silly parallelogram system in Giants Editor defining the actual boundary, the correct boundaries of every single field on a map this size would be enough to draw. It would be torture. It would be torture. Until Giants implement an easier system for map authors to be able to actually like paint their field definitions in Giants Editor, you're going to have a problem on large maps and maps which have non-square fields or non-rectangular fields having bad field definitions. Now, if you're playing it, you're playing the map yourself purely as a player, you're doing all the work yourself, you're not using AI workers, you're not using courseplay or anything like that, or any kind of AI mods, that's not a problem, because you can obviously work these fields in their entirety and do them all properly. However, because of the lack of field definitions, you will find that the in-game workers and workers will struggle to work the entire field, because they will stop at this point here, because they will say this is the end of the edge of the field. They won't travel over here, and obviously working this way they will stop here and won't carry on and work all this bit of land. So that's a little bit of a problem in the map. But like I say, if you're going to be playing it yourself, or if you're going to be playing this on a server with a load of your friends and you're all going to be doing the work manually, field definition is probably not an issue there. Can impact on contracts though, that is one thing. The contract system can be a little bit, if you like, buggy as well, because again, it's only going to detect pretty much where, I mean, the AI farmers and stuff are only going to actually plant and grow crops where the field definitions are. So there are large sections of the fields which aren't being utilized, aren't being used. And also for contract purposes, the contract completion is only going to register how does this work? I'm trying to get my head. Basically what I'm saying is, for contract purposes, when you harvest this crop, for example, it probably won't complete the contract because the contracts are going to count the entire area of land and are going to calculate a yield or an amount of crop that is expected for the actual land area. So this is quite a big area. However, of course, because the AI is only actually going to plant crops on the actual defined area, you will not be able to get enough crops to complete the contract. So again, and it's same goes for seeding contracts, fertilizing contracts, any type of contract work. You will probably find you are unable to complete contracts if the field definitions have not been set up correctly. So with that out of the way, why would someone want to play a 16 times map? Well, maybe somebody just wants to do nice, wants to be able to just kick back, relax on a map, doing massive farming and working big fields and just you know, being able to spend many hours just working one field, you know, and just chilling out and relaxing. Now the map, yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of elevation change across it, but otherwise it does seem rather flat, which is a little bit inconsistent with obviously the Google Maps thing. Turn off all the crop types and basically reveal the map. You can see on the from the Google Earth image that there's definitely slopes and hill. There's, you know, it's a little bit undulating, this land. I mean, obviously it's Texas, it's not going to have great big massive mountains and that, but there would be some, you wouldn't be looking at a completely flat like billiard table or snooker table. So that's a little bit disappointing, again, from a map perspective. But again, on a 16x map, you can understand why that is the case, because for the map author, the map maker, to sit there in Giants Editor doing all the contouring of the land and smoothing it out, doing all of that, it would take a phenomenal amount of time because of the size of the map. You're basically doing, you know, you imagine how much work goes into making one farm sim map, and then for this map you've got to times that work by 16 because it's a 16x map. And I believe the game has just crashed. That's interesting. Okay, so I've just reloaded the game. That was a bit weird. As I was running across the map there, I got a crash. I got a crash. Who would have thunked it? I mean, is it a map size thing? Is there just a certain point that I hit and it's going to crash? Because that felt a little bit weird to me. Let's go for a run. I was saying about the contours and stuff, wasn't I? And how, you know, a 16x map is basically 6 times the work for a map maker. So that explains why it's probably a little bit on the flat side. Potatoes, massive. This guy, someone's doing a massive potato harvest. Crazy. Oh, I'm not getting a crash now. Running around the map. Maybe just be one of those weird random things. Just one of those peculiar things that game just randomly decided to crash. Which can obviously sometimes happen with PC programs. They can just, for whatever reason, just randomly crash. There's no rhyme or it doesn't necessarily mean anything's broken. It just means that for one brief moment in time, no, it's crashed again. No, it hasn't. What's going on there? I'm gonna have a quick look at my PC performance. GPU is at 90% utilization. Might be that I'm crashing the my GPU. Could be. Could be. Back that down to say 85. My GPU overclocky thing. GPU temperature is 70 degrees. GPU temp 70. Might be because I'm trying to do max max quality, maximum bit rate with tons of drop that back down to quality and see if that changes the GPU utilization a bit. Might just be that I'm hitting 100% on a 16x map. Because that's way more data than obviously the game engine and the game was designed to load. Because obviously Giants built the game to support just 1x maps. And their game engine is designed to support 1x maps. Once you start pushing it beyond 1x, and go, I mean 4x has pushed the maps quite a bit. And then obviously to jump from 4x then to 16x is just rare. And even though this map doesn't really have a lot of, I would say, decoration, it's not filled with loads of buildings and trees and objects, and it's not filled with traffic and pedestrians wandering everywhere. Still a lot of stuff there to load. Still a heck of a lot of stuff for the game to load and be rendering. I'm basically just going to sprint across the map. Give you some idea of the size and scape and scale of everything. Driving from fields to sell points with your crops is obviously going to be quite a time consuming experience. So at this point, as I've gone trundling all the way over here, where am I now on the map? Nearly at the far left edge. Someone's growing a lot of canola. Now, unfortunately, when you hit the map edge, I believe it's a case of you just hit the map edge and here be monsters. There's no, like, pretty border to the map. There's no, like, pretty little, like decorative thing. It's just literally, here be monsters. You go any further than this, you're going to drop into the void type thing. So again, maybe one of the things that would have been maybe slightly better was if maybe the author had actually put like the actual map boundary just in actually like inside the 16x, and then maybe just put some decorations in so you can't actually get physically, you can't physically get to the actual edge of the map, the actual edge of the map, because the actual border, and then it would stop you kind of just seeing nothing when you come over here, wouldn't it? It would stop, you know, this, where it's just like, the world ends. Because the border would be, like, say, over here. And then he could have put some, like, decorations or something over there, and maybe, like, the little 2D scenescape from other maps. I wouldn't necessarily go for the one that puts all mountains and stuff in the background, because that would obviously be a little bit unrealistic for this geographical part of the world, but we'd just put a proper border on the map. I mean, I don't know. If you're playing on this map, would you be going right up to the borders? Because, you know, I mean, with the exception of, obviously, your starting farm over here, which is obviously quite close to this border, chances are you're likely to be working in the middle of the map, away from all the borders and stuff. But yeah, basic grain silo, easy sheds with obviously the starting equipment. We've not looked at the starting equipment on the map. Got Fendt 313, Case Optum, Massey Ferguson, Activia, T8 Agriliner Tor 30, 3-flow header for the Massey Ferguson, the Diamond HS8, which is 6 meters, and a, you know, wow, for a 16x map, doesn't give you a lot of big stuff. 4.9 meter plow. Imagine how long it's going to take you to plow a 16x map with a 4.9 meter plow. Oh boy. A 6 meter planter. You got a 6 meter planter, kids. Also, another thing to point out as well with this map, because I have had a look, when you actually go into the map zip file, it doesn't use any customized XMLs. It references basically all the base game default XML, so like the default fill types, default fruit types, default stuff, which is one of the reasons why the planters don't do potatoes like you see on a lot of maps, a lot of mod maps. A lot of mod authors use their own fruit types XMLs in the maps and their own fill type XMLs, and one of the changes they generally do is add potato planting, potato seeding to planters. And sometimes they remove soybean from the seeders, so you can only plant soybeans with the planter, and then it keeps the cereal crops on the seeder. It's just one of those things. If you wanted to use a customized fill types XML or fruit types XML, you would have to edit that yourself. You'd have to actually include one in the map zip file and then go and actually reference it within the main map XML to load your customized one. As far as mods go included with the map, there isn't many. There isn't really anything custom. There's a couple of silos that you have to download as an extra mod to work with the map. The PMC farm silo, they are on the download page for the map. It's at farmsimulator.org, I think is the website. And then there's a shed pack as well that you can download as well. Seen these recently on Eureka Farms, these mods. Definitely seen that like workshop trigger. But yes, apart from that, there isn't really any, like I say, there's no animal support, so doesn't really add anything different. There's no, it's basically for people who just want to just turn dirt without all the other additional stuff. People who just like farming, just driving tractors up and down fields and that kind of thing. This map is gonna keep you very, very busy doing that, because like I say, the fields are huge, massive, ginormous, gigantic, any other words you can think of to explain a 16 times. You don't really appreciate it when you're looking at the map in the menu, because there's no real reference or scale. You look at that map and think, well, that's not really, you know, there's all that, there's those fields are tiny, tiny little fields. It's not until you start actually running around the map and traveling around the map that you realise just how big this map actually is, folks. And how big the fields actually are. It's certainly not going to be for the faint of heart, I don't think. But I zoom away from my little tractor. Right, so here's my tractor, and the Case Optum's not a small tractor. Here it is in the middle of field 103. And you know, field 103, not a big field. On the map, on the PDA, but quite big in actuality. So yeah, the PDA doesn't really give you a true sense of scale. You really do need to be driving around this map to see it. I suppose the one good thing about this map is if you want to put placeables down, you want to do placeables, you want to build up a bit of a farm, you know, you want to use some, I don't know, whether you want to use global company mods, things like that, production factories and things. Not that there's actually any support for selling the stuff. I mean, it would take some, you'd have to do a lot of work yourself to set this map up. You'd have to go in and do a bit of editing, but you could definitely do something with this map, because the one good thing about this map is there's plenty of room to place stuff, and you're probably not going to have to do too much terrain deforming, you know. That's probably the one good thing about the lack of the contours and the true sort of gradient of the map and the true land heights and stuff, is that you're not going to have to do too much smoothing and leveling of the map to place objects. You will be able to just pretty much chuck everything down And you won't end up with any of the unsightly and ugly bits where the game moves the terrain about, creates lumps and hills. Although there are lumps and hills on the roads, but yeah. Welcome to the magic of the shop. Of course, because I've just loaded this up in New Farmer, I haven't gone for changed any of the options. We've got the automatic engine start stuff on the tractors. Yeah, got your workshop trigger there at the shop. In some regards, a very, very bare bones basic map with no real support for anything extra. There's no multi-fruits, there's, like I say, there's no animal husbandry, there's no BGA. You're literally just going to be growing and harvesting crops and selling crops on this map to make money and make progress, to be able to buy new equipment. Like I say, there is plenty of land, plenty of fields to be getting on with, so I'm sure this map will appeal to some players. There will be some people out there that are like, yes, this is what I want. I want a great, huge, massive map where I can really get out the big toys and just have at it. No, not having to worry about collisions on hedges or fences or trees or anything like that. You can just pretty much get stuck in with all the biggest, baddest tractors and machinery you can afford. It's great. Great option for people. Say, going to be very intimidating for single player though. A single player experience. Someone doing a single player game. Whew, I don't envy you. I wouldn't want to do it. I find 4X maps to be a bit of a challenge in single player. To be able to cope and manage with everything. I can't imagine what it would be like trying to operate a huge farm and manage all the fields on a 16X map. But then again, I'm not playing this map, but there are people out there that will be. Thank you for watching this video, everybody. Hope you've liked this look at the 16X map. I will put the link to the website where you can download this in the description if you want to download it and have a look at it and have a play. So yeah, go ahead, tell me what you think about the map in the comments section down below, and I'll see you all again very soon for a new video. I've been CWATTY. Goodbye for now, folks.